Within each of us is a battle, a constant pull between opposing forces, competition and cooperation, conflict and peace. It is this duality woven into the fabric of our existence that shapes both our inner world and the world we share with others. War, in its many forms, isn't just something that occurs between nations or in distant history. It is a struggle that takes place within us, in our thoughts, beliefs, and desires. And just as with the waves, peace is a potential, a state that exists when we achieve balance. It's this inner peace we seek, a harmonious resolution to the conflicts that rage inside and outside of us. Evolution has hardwired us with instincts for both survival and connection. Our drive for competition ensures we thrive, while our capacity for cooperation allows us to live in community. Without understanding these forces within ourselves, we risk falling into conflict, whether it's in our personal lives or our world at large. To achieve peace, we must first understand the war that lives within us. The conflict within us is like a storm brewing in the distance, turbulent, unpredictable, and often out of our control. It is the struggle between what we desire and what we believe we should want, between what we feel and what we think is right. Psychologically, this is known as cognitive dissonance, the mental discomfort we experience when our actions or beliefs clash. This internal turmoil doesn't just affect our thoughts. It can take a toll on our physical and emotional well-being, causing stress, anxiety, and even depression. The human mind, it seems, is hardwired for conflict. We often find ourselves pulled in multiple directions, torn between desires that contradict each other. It's this unresolved tension that often keeps us from finding peace. Whether we're struggling with our career choices, relationships, or personal values, this inner war can drain our energy and our happiness. Yet it's important to recognize that conflict doesn't always have to be negative. Just as storms in nature can clear the air and bring new growth, our inner struggles can lead us to greater self-awareness and understanding. The key, however, lies in resolving the conflict, not by suppressing it, but by acknowledging it, understanding its root causes, and seeking ways to integrate our desires into a harmonious whole. Only by addressing the war within can we begin to step toward the peace we seek. True peace is not merely the absence of conflict, it is the resolution of it. It's the deep sense of inner balance that comes when we have reconciled the opposing forces within ourselves. Imagine a calm, serene river flowing gently through a meadow. The waters are still and the surface is clear. This stillness isn't the result of the absence of the river's journey, but rather of its acceptance of the natural flow of life. Inner peace works the same way. It's the ability to accept our emotions, our thoughts, and our experiences without judgment or resistance. Studies on mindfulness and meditation show that when we take the time to sit with our thoughts and feelings, instead of avoiding or suppressing them, we can achieve a state of inner calm. The practice of mindfulness helps us detach from the chaos of the world and brings us back to the present moment. It's in this space of presence that true peace can be found. Peace is not something we acquire from the outside world, it's something we cultivate from within. By practicing self-awareness, compassion, and acceptance, we can reach a state of mental clarity and emotional stability. This inner peace allows us to respond to life's challenges not with fear or anger, but with calmness and understanding. Peace, in its truest form, is an achievable state of mind, a balanced center amidst the swirling forces of the world around us. In the natural world, we see conflict and cooperation constantly at play. The predator hunts its prey, a moment of intense struggle that ensures the survival of the species. But just as quickly, we witness the opposite, symbiotic relationships, where two organisms work together for mutual benefit. This is the essence of nature's balance, the coexistence of both war and peace. In human nature, too, we are drawn to both competition and cooperation. Evolutionary psychology tells us that competition drives us to innovate and excel, but cooperation allows us to build communities, to share resources, and to live together in harmony. Just like the natural world, Our minds, our societies, and our relationships reflect this duality. Conflict and cooperation are not opposites, but interconnected forces that are essential for survival and growth. It is only when we learn to navigate these forces with wisdom that we can create the harmony we seek. Understanding this balance within ourselves and in our communities allows us to live in alignment with both our competitive and cooperative instincts, leading to a richer, more fulfilling existence. Peace, especially inner peace, is not a passive state. It requires active cultivation. One of the most profound ways to achieve inner peace is through compassion and forgiveness. When we forgive ourselves, when we forgive others, we release the heavy weight of anger, resentment, and regret. Neuroscience has shown that acts of compassion, whether toward others or ourselves, activate regions of the brain associated with reward, reducing stress and increasing happiness. This is why kindness and forgiveness are not just beneficial to the recipient, they are transformative for the giver as well. Compassion connects us to others, bridging the gap between us and the suffering of the world. It fosters understanding, healing, and ultimately, peace. When we show empathy, we learn to embrace the shared humanity that connects us all. Forgiveness, too, is a key to peace. It frees us from the cycle of hurt, allowing us to move forward with clarity and calm. By practicing compassion and forgiveness, we remove the barriers that keep us from peace, both inside and outside of ourselves. Though war often brings pain and destruction, it can also serve as a powerful catalyst for growth and change. Just as wildfires clear the way for new growth in nature, moments of inner struggle can lead to profound personal transformation. When we face our greatest conflicts, whether internal or external, we are forced to adapt, to find new ways of thinking, and to grow stronger. Psychological research on resilience shows that individuals who have overcome adversity are often more adaptable, more empathetic, and more capable of handling future challenges. Conflict, then, is not just something to avoid, it is an opportunity for growth, a chance to learn more about ourselves, our values, and our capacity for strength. The challenges we face, whether they are in relationships, career, or health, can teach us resilience, perseverance, and wisdom. These trials help shape us into more capable, understanding individuals. Embracing conflict as a transformative force allows us to see beyond its immediate pain, recognizing that the struggle is often where the most meaningful changes take place. Sustainable peace doesn't come from the absence of conflict, it comes from the ability to accept conflict without allowing it to disrupt our inner harmony. Therapy teaches us that peace is achieved not by avoiding difficult thoughts and emotions, but by accepting them as part of the human experience. Instead of fighting against discomfort or conflict, we learn to live with it, integrating it into our sense of self. Studies show that acceptance can significantly reduce psychological distress and promote mental well-being. True peace, then, is not a static state, but a dynamic practice, a continual balancing act between the peace we seek and the inevitable challenges we face. By accepting both the war and the peace that exist within us, we can maintain a sense of calm and resilience even in the midst of conflict. This doesn't mean that we become passive. It means we choose to face life's struggles with grace and understanding, knowing that peace is not something we must constantly strive for, but something we can always return to. As the sun sets on the horizon, casting a golden glow over the landscape, we are reminded of the interconnectedness of all things. Just as day and night coexist, so too do war and peace within us. True peace comes not from eliminating conflict, but from recognizing and integrating all parts of ourselves, including our capacity for struggle. It is in the acceptance of both light and shadow, peace and conflict, that we find wholeness. Life is a journey of balancing these forces. Sometimes we are at war, sometimes we are at peace, but both are integral to our growth and understanding. The key is to embrace both aspects of ourselves, knowing that they are not opposites but complementary forces that together create the whole. As we reflect on this, may we find the strength to honor our own inner journey, seeking peace not as a destination, but as a practice that invites us to explore, grow, and find balance within the constant ebb and flow of life.